Welcome to MarcusG.TV. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano, and I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is running, how to become a better runner. And the problem with the majority of the runners that I know, the majority of the runners that are out there. So, your body will not take you where your mind hasn't already been, okay? I have a lot of friends that run. I run with several people. I know even more runners because people know that I run. So when they come into my restaurant, we spark up a running conversation. And when they find out what I run, they always say to me, I could never do what you do. I could never do the distance. I could never do the incline, the mountains. They go, I could never do that. And I look at these people, and some of these are good runners, and some of these people that I run with are good runners. But they're so stuck. They're like, I can't do that. I was like, do you think I could do that one day? Do you think I could have done that 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was? Do you think I could have ever done that if I would have said, no, I couldn't do that? Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right. We program our minds. Our minds are so limiting. And I see the minds of a lot of my friends, a lot of runners I know, their minds are limiting them. They're limiting their potential. They're good runners, some of these people, and I'll get them up one hill and I'll say, okay, now we're going to do this next hill, right, the next day or whatever, the next week, and they're like, no, I can't do that. I'm not in shape for it. I'm not trained for it. And they run constantly. I could never do that. I hate hills. I hate mountains. And you know what, they're right. Once your mind says you can't do something, you can't. And I know these people can do it because I've been running with them. And I've ran smaller hills with them. And I know that if you can do that, and really, what's the big deal? If you can't run something, if you can't push yourself up something, what's the big deal? You walk. There's been several times where I've had to walk. But, you know, that was a while back. But I knew I was going to have to walk, or I thought I'd have to walk, or I just did it, and I was determined, and I had to walk because it was like, oh my gosh, this is too intense. But if I wouldn't have done that very first run, if my mind wouldn't have taken me there to begin with, I would have never gone up it. So we live in a valley here in New York, and we're surrounded by mountains. And the very first time that I ran up the mountain was probably about 10 years ago. I ran up the mountain, and I was so nervous about it. But I wanted to do it. I really wanted to do it. So I drove the route with my car. I did a lot of visualization. I said, okay, I'm going to run up. It's going to take me this amount of time. And as I drove, I kind of picked out the spaces that were going to give the points of the run that I thought would give me a problem, right? The bigger inclines at a certain distance. I said, I'm going to run into a problem here. Let me work through my mind and visualize what I'm going to do. You know, how am I going to handle that problem? You know, and a lot of professional athletes do this. They visualize. Visualization is extremely powerful. So I'd visualize what was going to happen at that point and how I was going to get through it and how I was going to react. And it worked. It worked perfectly fine. I ran up the mountain in like 45 minutes the first time I did it. I didn't run all the way up, but I ran up to a certain point, a certain turnoff. And I called my wife for a pickup to come back down. Now I run up and run down, and I'll run up and down again. So I just naturally progressed. Like for me, the next progression is running a marathon a month. That's one of my new goals, is to run a marathon a month. Well, my mind took me there first, right? So now my mind took me there, and it's like, well, how am I going to do this? Now I just got to get out and do it, right? I'm extremely turned on by the fact of running like a 100-mile race, a 50-mile race, 100-miler. I'm so enthralled in that. I'm like, that's what I want to do. My body's not there yet. I don't even know how to begin to do that besides running more and putting one foot in front of another, right? But these 100-mile races, I keep telling myself, I was just in Colorado, and I told people that I'm with them, you're like, you know, I'm coming back one day for the Leadville 100. I'm telling people that. I'm already telling people that. I'm already telling people I'm running the Pikes Peak Marathon soon. So I've already programmed my mind that that's what's happening. And I've already tricked my mind into, not tricked my mind, but programmed my mind into saying, Pikes Peak Marathon is nothing. It's 13 miles up, 13 miles down. I've broken it into two pieces. Nobody knows about Pikes Peak Marathon. You run up it, run down it. It's like a 6, 7, 8,000 elevation gain. You go up 13 miles, you go down 13 miles. So I've already told my mind, it's just 13 miles up. I just got to get up, right? The hard part's getting up, the easy part's getting down. So once you're up, what goes up must come down. So, but everybody I speak to, I haven't spoken to one other person, one other serious runner, or that would really say, man, I want to do that. Now, I do know a lot of serious runners that run distance and do that. But with the majority of the people that I know, the majority of the serious runners I know, would never even contemplate running the Pikes Peak Marathon. Their mind's never going to take them there. Just me thinking about running it, I feel great. The endorphins start kicking in. It's like, wow, I can do something. So your mind, your body's not going to take you where your mind has not already been. That's the bottom line. I just started cycling last year, not even a year ago. I just started cycling, got a road bike, and somebody told me, just go up the mountains, Marcus. Go up the mountains, go as far as you can until you can't go anymore, right? So I said, that sounds like a reasonable plan, right? What do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. You go until you can do it, and that's it, you know? And each time you do it, you know, if you do it one time, okay, so let's say you did something in a half an hour, 35 minutes. What can I do it in the next time? Can I do 33 minutes? Can I do 28 minutes? Can I improve upon what I've already done? So that's how you do it, instead of just going doing once and saying, I'm done it. So, that's the major problem with the majority of the runners out there. Their minds just aren't open. And this is with anything. This is just with business. This is with life. Whether you think you can own a business, own multiple businesses, whatever. Your mind, when your mind stops you, you're not going to go to the next level because your mind's done. That's it. You've shut down. Your mind is done. Whatever you think you can do, you can do. Give it a shot. You know, you do it until you're successful. You try it, you fail, you try it, you fail, you try it, and you do it. You do it till you're successful. That's the bottom line. So, are you a runner out there that needs a little more motivation, needs a little more push, needs to open your mind up? You know, just think about, you know, I love running hills. I love running mountains. And, you know, people just say, man, you're crazy, you're crazy. I didn't love doing it always, and there's times still that I don't love running up a mountain. But I programmed my mind to love running mountains, because I said, wow, that's the next step of gratification of running, right? Is instead of running flat, running up something and looking down and looking at what you've just accomplished, a mountain, is very satisfying to me. It's extremely satisfying. So just thinking about that is like, wow. So I programmed myself to saying, I love mountains, I love hills. When I first started running mountains and hills years ago, that was what I would tell myself. I love hills. I love hills. That's all I kept playing. When the going got tough, it was like, I love hills. 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 And that's what I kept telling myself. And I do visualizations of my ankles being two positive magnets. And when my ankles would come closer together, the magnets would kick each other away, right? Kick, 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 kick. So that's how I imagined myself going up these hills, man. My ankles don't come together. Those are magnets. So when they come together, they want to kick out. And it was so beneficial because the first time I tried running up the mountain here, the very first time, 1,500 feet up the mountain, I did it the first time, no problems, no issues, no problems. So, of course, over the years, I stopped running, and I'd start running again. I'd just go up. There was, I think, once a couple years ago on my birthday that my son and I went up. And my son kicked my butt running up that mountain. And I had to walk. I had to walk twice. So that was the last time I had to walk going up that mountain. That was it. You know, I did it. I walked it a few spots the first time. The second time I did it, right on up it. Third time, right on up it. Now it's just a part of my weekly run going up the one mountain. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. What's holding you back? Is your mind holding you back from achieving your running goals or fitness goals or personal goals? Thanks for watching this video. If you like my channel, please hit like, subscribe to my videos, and pass it on.